towards mid. SeveriNe makes short work of the two players here, completely blindsiding and dismantling 5As as he picks them out one by one, looking for the ace. Has to get
into the sites. Can they get those proper trades in and again work together as a team? Because again, a lot of these issues that 5As have been expecting have all just been, again, just individual plays that they've been doing. It's not the teamwork that we were expecting from a team like 5As.
Yeah, and you know, you said before, Onic, they've just been kind of on the rise. They've been rock solid, and even though that they hadn't really the cleanest victory up against Full Sense, the fact that they've really stuck it to Full Sense is just one of the examples of how good Onic has been and how much on the rise they are. And they can only get better with more international experience. The more times that they show up on this stage here, the more times that they are in VCT, it's just going to add to their power levels as a team. But let's go ahead and dive into the game here. We're going into the second to last game of the day, and we've got 5As going up against Onic. And we're going to start off here in bind. It's no hesitation as they run, make a beeline towards that A site, starting it off strong here. Double initiator from Onic. And on the other side, it's double controller for 5As.
Onic not missing a beat already. They've set up the utilities now. They're charging right in, and this guiding light basically gives a straight up path to a couple of entry frags. There was looking to be two people at the back of the A site, and now those people have all but diminished this. Oh, unfortunate. I think Aminola was trying to go for that bounce on the molly, but it did not. Just hit the triple, and Spring, okay. We've ridiculed him or just a little bit, or critiqued his play, and he's going to have some impact. Now left into the 1 versus 1. SeveriNe has heard already the defuse. Can hear maybe his opponent, but never mind. Playing Ring Around the Rosie. Tries to jump up with the classic. Not going to happen for Aminola, and SeveriNe severs the ties from this world of existence, and that's going to be the first round for Onic here.
Onic with a very decisive take there. Onto that retake. You thought for a second that that full 5As, excuse me, were going to be able to come out on top. It did come very, very close to actually happening, and the defuse could have actually been half there. Aminola just missing the last opportunity. And in the end, what really matters is that Onic start to build this lead. They start to build that momentum. 5 Spectres on the board, and you know, Asarai, we're talking about these teams. We're talking about 5As. We didn't really see them as a very, very serious contender for the top spot, but I think what really matters for 5As at this point is that they make themselves known as not just the second best Hong Kong Taiwan team. They want to be seen as a serious contender, a serious threat to all the others, and what better group to do that than in this group of death?
For sure, there's so much to be proven right now for Onic, as this is their first time being in the Southeast Asia tournament of ours. Well, same can be said with 5As, but Onic, I think, has more of a bit of a bang. And speaking of the bang, let me just use into that satchel charge. Monyet just spray transfers onto 2. This opens up the entirety of the site. Shen able to sneak out of the smoke, but only into the bracing hands once again of Monyet, fueling the showstopper to come up earlier than necessary. Nickpan, he's been hitting a couple of the 6 shots. Okay, another dink, has to go for the reload, but never mind, as there was one still lurking inside the site. This is going to be Onic with a fairly clean round, taking a bit of damage, but nonetheless a plant and a take on the site in, or rather, to boot.
It's another nice take right there from Onic as they once again assert their dominance. First time on A, second time on B, and it's looking like it's going. It wasn't exactly the cleanest of anti-eco rounds. They did drop a couple of members right there, but they'll be happy to take it in the end. So, like we said earlier, Asarai, it's going to be about can 5As prove themselves not just to the world, not just to the Hong Kong Taiwan community, but to the world, to the international community here in Valorant in Southeast Asia. And that's a good way to start it off here on this buy round. A nice paint shell to come out. That takes out Monyet, who was, like you said, quite a threat, especially with that showstopper coming up quite early in this game. That's 8 charges that he's already found this early on.
Some of those charges were the orbs being taken on Shower. Problem was he had to pay with his life there with a bit of snake bite and counter paint shells being thrown by 5ace. A bit of forces have rotated. Severin is just going to try to make some noise on bats. Maybe even figure out who's going to be in the site itself. Not really going to find anybody, just a couple of pop shots. And this doesn't give much for Onic to play around with. But you do see that Onic still do want to contest for B. The problem is that Esmin, he kind of flunked that jump out, though. But nobody was there to embrace him, so he's fine.
Yeah, to his good fortune, that little bit of a miffed jump could have went the wrong way. Amenhola. Nice kill right there with the judge. Always very dangerous up in a close range situation, especially towards Hookah. And Amenhola, he swaps out into the Spectre and is able to pick up another one while the rest of his team picks up the round. And that's going to be a great round for 5ace. Very much convincingly taking their first buy round here. They lose a couple of players, sure, but what really matters is the rounds, rather. It's going to be a good start here for 5ace.
What's the play for Onic now? They have a lot of junk in their trunk. Not saying that their butts are big. It's more of they do have the utility that they can throw out a bit more.
Ain't nothing wrong with being a little bit thick, all right?
Bro, did I say that?
I like milkshakes that are thick.
Cannot lie.
I mean, it's okay, Asheray. We all know you've been putting on weight recently. We still love you.
Yeah, it's okay. Body positivity and all of that, but that was positively disgusting from Spring as he sprung into action, denying the Elevation Nation onto the ace site with the Showstopper satchel play. What was that? Was he just sucked in out of nowhere? But no,
he got
no
tagged.
Astra.
He got tagged.
Ah, there you go.
As he was trying to boop himself ahead, he got slowed down by the snake bite, prevented, and he got tagged up by some sprays coming through. So that's a great pickup that denies the ultimate. So 8 charges amounting to nothing, and a weapon amounting to nothing here. So this could be a very, very beneficial round for 5ace. They are 2 players ahead right now. Onic, they're going to have to dig deep and find a way to get onto this site. They haven't cleared off lamps just yet. Nick Pan is here. He's going to make his presence known with that satchel charge. Nice shot to land right there. It's only good for the 3. Somehow it was about to write him off. But no way, no how. Nick Pan closes out the round just like that. Second star to the right, and Nick Pan takes them far, far away.
Well, Pan for the view. Look at this transition, and they both just double stack line up onto him, and they take the collateral. My goodness, I was wondering if Nick Pan was going to be played as a Sentinel, but seems like FA, they decided, you know what, Pan has been hitting all of his shots as of recent. He's been clutching out these 1vx scenarios, so why not just give him a much explosive role to try to deal with? And yeah, I guess this Raze up to his delight, and now he's the one who has a showstopper. He's the one who's edging in to just explode straight in the faces of Onic and Spring. Well, we also are kind of writing this guy off from that last series that they played, but he's been hitting a couple of 6 shots as well here, Ilu.
You know, that should be Nick Pan's tagline. Second star to the right and straight on till Radiant. I like it. Pretty cool. You know, Peter Pan. But Nick. Yeah.
Only watched the Robin Williams movie.
That's okay. Some people just like you. No childhood. Robin Hood is not Peter Pan. I have no idea where you got that idea.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were... For some reason, my mind... Well, they both are wearing...
green tights.
You know, yeah, green tights.
Oh, God.
Speaking of tights, they're going to tightly net into the site now. I mean, Hola's going to be holding it off. 29 HP, but he is still making the impact plays, leaving it into risky MD. And, well, to that of his name, definitely will be a tight-knit battle to try to just get into this A site, rather B site, with just a hand cannon in tow. We'll be trying to clear some angles here, maybe looking for the close range, but nobody is looking for that. As he tries to drop into the site, the waterfall, Esmin just drinks it all, and that's going to be FA. A really good start to the round. It was only the 2 rounds that Onic started, but FA's bringing it all the way back.
This is another example of a great hold here for 5 Ace, and they're just constantly putting up the numbers. I think impressing everybody with their solid performance right now. FA, this is definitely much better than we've seen them before. I already think, even just in this past day, they have improved. This is a league apart from what we've seen them when they played in their grand finals on Icebox, up against CBT, you know, even from their games yesterday from Paper X. So already this is a marked improvement. And I'm hoping to see that trend continue here. But still, gun round is coming up, 5v5. 3 ultimates up for both of these teams as they do try to slowly creep their way up on that A side.
Again, lots of emphasis to get control on A for Onic here. But they're not really expecting FA to just play far back, but not far back enough that they can take free control of this crucial point. Severin has activated his ultimate, although Nick Pan, fearless leader of FA here, just charges out, reckless abandon. But you know what? That recklessness has actually found him about a couple of kills, although Risky MD able to pick the slack up with a couple of multi-kills on his own right. Taking a bit of the wall bangs, gotta be careful now, backs away first, and there's one playing on the bench, although gotta be careful because the guiding light is gonna be there. Shiro is hiding in plain sight, but finally spotted, and that's gonna be the retake for FA. Onic, they could have brought it back, but Nick Pan really shook the bed there as he just slammed it down with the Razult.
What a great hold yet again. Nick Pan using Showstopper to full effect. The moment he hears a couple of footsteps, didn't really have the best line of sight. In the end, it still works out for him as the sound cues were enough to secure him a double. And even though it got a little bit expensive, again, they will be more happy to take away these rounds. 5 Ace. They're pretty much dominantly in the lead. A lot of economy being built up. A couple players over 7,000. And Onyx side, they're just looking for scraps off the table at the moment.
Well, we'll see if these scraps will be something. Sometimes it's enough to just give you that quick burst of energy. But something that's been an issue right now with Onic is, again, I was mentioning how they're able to just translate very close quarter combat into their advantage, but the big problem is I think the A side just a bit too heated for them. Now they've tried to at least try to go for B. There's going to be HKTW to charge right in, using Shiro as a bit of a battering ram, and he gets a couple of kills, whiffing the blades on the second, and Amenhola not missing a beat to go for the punish. Spikes is going to get dropped down, and Severin, he's been lurking somewhere on A, but now he tries to at least enforce his will on the B site. Down to 3. He's going to be out in no man's land, and Munyet has to dig him out of his hole, but the shots to connect, beautifully executed, just the Sheriff, but it's proving to be a costly round here for FA. Gotta be careful, but at least Munyet now does not have anything to flush the back of the site. Maybe just his satchels, but they're not the buff satchels as of before. They're pretty damn nerfed, and, well, Munyet gotta play as close as possible. 20 seconds. He's closing in the distance here, Elu, and is about to get founded out. That's gonna be it, and again, FA, 5 rounds in.
Yeah, just too many angles to check there, and even though there was low HP on Amenhola and YH Chen, it's just too many angles and too many players still alive. And with the Sheriff, sure, it's doable, but with the amount of time that was left for him to work those angles, didn't really favor his chances in the end. Still, it was a very good and expensive round for Onic. 5 Ace. They are looking surprisingly on form. Now, they've taken a little bit of a hit towards their economy, but yet again, they've managed to stabilize it. Everybody here almost above 5,000. Only Esmin dropping to 4,800. They're going to be happily buying within the next 2 rounds, regardless of whether they lose or not. And it's a little bit of a aggressive push by Severin. He's dropped to 28 HP after barely seeing anyone. Amenhola's been the bane of their existence towards their B side. Again, getting a pick off before he goes down. Still a 4v4 though, happening right now for Spring as he does manage to get a pick off and falls back with that dismiss. Greatly timed here as the spike goes down. They relinquish the site, but it's a flash and a double peek coming up right there from 5 Ace. Perfectly timed, and that's going to be the backup one after the other. Nick Pan closes out the round. Stylishly done by 5 Ace and a clean retake.
The idea was there. they knew that A was, again, a bit too much of a hot zone for them to really handle, whether it's out from short or baths that they're going to try to overwhelm the A site. They might be able to plant the spike as the dust settles, but the big problem there is they just lose too many. So they try to go for the B. What's good about that is they've already expended Shen's Viper's Pit on a short. They can actually bypass that for sure. He's going to have maybe a teammate or two that's going to be there. The B side, however, it was a good enough trade. They were able to plant the spike down, but the hold from Hey and F, a little bit questionable. He got baited to just shoot down the boom bot, and 3 people from FA just basically looking into his owner guard. And as you mentioned, because Spring is on that Reyna, his ability to peek out and punish is so powerful. He can go low risk, high reward in that regard because of the Empress being active or just being a Reyna in general. Get a kill, get a dismiss, and then back away. And it's all good in the hood, and FA just kind of gobbles through all of that advantages.
I like that. I like the decision from Amenhola to go for that judge. But, ooh, I like that ultimate even more from Monyet. That allows them a little bit of a breathing space here onto site. Double entry for Monyet will be traded up by Nick Pan with another double. Will fall back into the waiting arms of his teammate. He will be healed up by Esmin right there. That's the beauty of having a Skye on your team. Doctor will be here to patch you up as we do now resume into this 3v3 scenario. Spike will not go down just yet. They want a little bit of a better foothold towards that A site before they even begin to consider that plant. Nick Pan is going to miss that opportunity for the headshot, but he's able to drop down SeveriNe very low. He's on to 14. Esmin gets 1 though, finishes the job for his teammate. Now it's a 3v2 as Shiro and Rizky MD, the only ones left standing, swinging wide from the corner, and yet again perfection on the retake for 5-ace.
The Cosmic Divide might have actually not have worked in the favor of Onic. First and foremost, it could block the sound out. It could maybe block FA. But because they did that, it actually put them in a spot where Onic was looking where FA was going to be coming from. They didn't know that Amenhola was already flanking hard on A short, and they basically left themselves guessing after the Cosmic Divide was used. And now Onic here, they're going to be forcing themselves, or not really forcing, but calling out the timeout because they need to know what's been happening that's not really meshing well. They're getting the sites, yes, they're able to get the positive trades, but the post plants is where they kind of falter a little bit here. Look at that, Elu, with FA's, how many is this? 7 rounds? 3 of them have been straight up defuses, and 4 just basically no site, no plant done.
Two of those, Aserai, of course, were on those ecos as well. The only round being the 3rd round, being that actual full gun round win. So yeah, you are absolutely right on that. And I do also have to point out, Nick Pan has his ultimate again. This is like, what, the 3rd time he's had it in the previous couple rounds, and it's only round 10. He is racking up those charges. He's not even going for the orbs, mind you. He is just getting them off the kill. Sorry, I think this is the 2nd time he's added up, and it's very quick in succession here. Now, the reads from FA, they've been very good. Amenhola, I pointed out again and again, the amount of control that he's able to take in hookah just stifles any push from FA because they haven't cleared that area. They haven't cleared that map control because they have been holding it so defiantly. This one hook, this one smoke plus judge setup here towards hookah has been proving to be so difficult to deal with. Oh, now they hear it. Will they push into it? Oh my god, he still gets one somehow. He gets flashed off, and finally it's a trade, but still the damage has been done. It's just the judge that's been out of the equation, but SeveriNe, he's managing to bring it back and get 2 picks and take us to a 2v4. This is the best chance that Onic has had in a while to actually win a round.
Well, A-side is not going to be their friend. They try to go once again for the B, and as you mentioned, I mean, Holda was palming a couple of shots with the Elder Flame Dragon Judge there, and well, his ability or his position exposed that definitely gave more cues for Onic to go about this. Hey and F not taking the back of the site anymore, and he's holding hard at Tube, and it works effectively. That's going to be the 3-7. Onic looking a little bit sharper, but they still have a few rounds to go, though it seems like their B-side takes have been a bit more successful here. A couple of the trades there, but as you saw in the replay, they just need to clear the sites out with their utility, make sure that Amenhola's judge is null and void. If they just use a boom bot and a flash, it's all going to be good in the hood.
I like the way that they went about that round, Onic. They know that they've been sort of slacking off on controlling hookah. And this time, Amenhola, sure, he's able to get one and take a punish on that. But regardless, he's going to keep doing it again. This is a little bit of a interesting strategy here for FA because they're going to do the exact same thing without backing up anyone, sending anyone to reinforce that hookah position. So instead, Amenhola knows his position is vulnerable. He's going to play on site instead. Now, Flash coming in here. Onic looking to straight up hit their way towards that B site. They've already taken control over hookah, and they also have a couple of ultis to work with. Seekers will spot out Amenhola. He doesn't get the kill, but his teammates will back him up. They haven't dealt with him. They're trying to spray him through that wood, but it won't matter because everybody from 5-Ace has already come and swarmed onto this side. The quick rotation pays off for the defensive side right now, as it only leaves the two S's on the Onyx side, that Shiro and SeverIne, to somehow make something possible. And that shock dart came very close to taking out his life here. Will jump up on above. Unfortunately, the Amenhola actually wasn't there. Trying to jump up again, but Spring is right there for the double, finishing off the round. 4 kills for him.
Spring was clean in the defense there. First and foremost, SeverIne's ultimate was good. They should have just waited, possibly, for the Seekers to, well, it's in their namesake, seek their opponents, because it sunk down underneath hookah. They should have known that Amenhola was somewhere lurking beyond the depths, but the problem there was, I think, Bonyet a bit too trigger happy to just get into the site. The problem was, they've adjusted Spring to actually play on the B site now. And as they were in transition, the eye kept everybody busy and blinded all at the same time. And it really helped the defense for FA, because as Onic was struggling to, well, maybe follow the Seekers or look through the back of the site, the eye for the Lear was not getting shot too quickly enough. Esmin, oh my goodness, he's just about to go for the peak of his life. Only gets good for the one kill, but Amenhola just charges right out. Again, the reckless abandon, but who the hell cares? As he just hits time and time again with the judge, and they come in guns blazing, but his blazes a bit more. Oh.
That just ain't right, that Amenhola gets 3 kills with the judge. It's a really strong weapon in the right hands, and case in point, Amenhola. Jeez. He's trying to spray through, finding risky MD, and that forces him to push out of position. 14 HP on him. It's another great read here for 5-Ace as they secure a 9-3 halftime score. I don't know about you, Acer. I'm thoroughly impressed with what I'm seeing here from 5-Ace.
Dude, this is a different 5-Ace that we saw from the other day. Coordinated. They exactly knew what they had to do on their defending side, and Amenhola has been unleashed. I mentioned it already here, man. Nick Pan and Amenhola, they started things strong, and Shiro, who is their duelist, is starting to pop off, and this has kind of started a pulse for 5-Ace here, a heartbeat in their tournament, in their particular group. They might be able to get themselves a first point, possibly even a second. Taking 2 in advance here, but this first game really looking in their favor. Now, flip the switch, change the sides, we go back to the second pistol.
If the pistol round from the previous half is any indicator, then we're probably going to see some hyper-aggressive plays from one of these squads, and it looks like it's shaping up to be just that. Onic looking to go full aggressive here towards middle. 5-Ace, they're ready for it. The double peek right there from the side. Esmin's almost able to get one, but in the end, it leaves us in a 2v2. Spike will be dropped, but recovered eventually. As 5-Ace, they do have a clear path to make a beeline towards that A site. Nobody here because they just got 3 kills. Dismantling anybody else who was on it. That gives them the confidence to go ahead that plant. But they still have to find and figure out how to deal with Monyet and SeverIne.
Last player standing.
Well, SeverIne was already extremely low, so there wasn't really much time for him. I wonder what Monyet was doing with that quick little flick that he was trying to do left and right. I understand that the idea there is to spot your opponent if they're coming in from all corners since you're trying to get that info, but sometimes you just have to double down and look straight into your pre-aim. In any case, FA making a good enough case that they are still a team that is worthy to be here in Southeast Asia, and Onic that looked so good on their yesterday match against Full Sense has all but kind of lost their luster, at least here in Bind.
I'm going to agree with you completely. This is looking like a different Onic and a different FA here. Nice flash out, and they get an aggressive pick on this force buy round. Onic, they don't want to let things slip too far, so they're going to try to go ahead, try to invest in that buy right now. They're going to get caught off guard here, 5-Ace. And I do have to reinforce this, Asterai. Paper Rex are 2-0 currently in the series that they've played. Onic and Full Sense are 1-1. 5-Ace need at least one here. And if Onic take a loss against 5-Ace, this just puts them in a very, very difficult spot, because that just means that they'll have to compete with Paper Rex, who have 3 points, and Full Sense, who are at 1-1. So a 2-0 is what Onic need to secure the, well, not to secure, but to definitely help their cause in qualifying for the playoffs. But when you've got 5-Ace getting 4 kills like this, I mean, Hola, how the hell are you going to even get close to doing that?
There's a lot of things that is probably going in the heads now of Onic. One of those, as you mentioned, they need to get that 2-0, but as of this particular round, that was a gamble for them because they went straight into the forced buy. And speaking of forced buy, I think they're doing it once again. I think they know now that they can't really give up any more rounds.
Yeah.
And if they just lose basically the last or this round, it's all going to be over for them. So they try to go for this incredibly risque buy and hope that it works out well. The problem now is I think they're trying to take too much map control with weapons that don't really allow that to happen, especially when FA are waiting for the lurks to commence, like this one from Aminhola.
Is it a sexy buy, Asterai? You just called it a risque buy, so...
Sorry, I added a little bit of...
I don't know. To the risky?
Yeah.
Now it's a sexy force buy? Okay, I'll take that. I wish
hey, man, if they win the round, it's as sexy as can be. You know?
Okay, fair enough. I'll take that. But Aminhola, okay, he got caught off right there looking for the push. And even though he knew that they were coming, nobody came to back him up. Spring, get a good pick up right there onto Shiro. And forces back... KNF, excuse me, and the double swing out right there for Risky MD. Calculated aggression coming up from Onic, making this force buy very much risque.
They're hearing the footsteps as well, as KNF didn't really back up or retreat at B. So they know it's a full send on the B side. Movements now for Onic is that they're going to try to go around this. HNF a bit too early on the rotate. He has to wait for his teammates first because everybody from Onic is hella injured. At least probably the good thing about them is their opponents, FA, they don't really have that many utility, but they got the weapons, they got the shields. So this is going to be risky. Oh, the timing on the peak, it could not be much better. It's only one left onto Chen, and HNF. The trigger discipline, he spotted him, but he didn't challenge, waiting for his teammates to do the impact first. And Onic, their gamble has finally paid off in dividends.
I wouldn't call it entirely a gamble because they know that they couldn't give away any more rounds. And they didn't want to play for overtime because that would mean that they would have to have the perfect game. But I do agree with you, Asterai, that it definitely worked out. And I like what Onic brought to the table in that last round. Calculated aggression, a little bit towards B, and when they felt resistance there, the people from FA were holding a little bit backwards. They go for the aggression, the double peek towards Showers. That nets them the kills that they actually did need to win that round. Although partially it was 5-Ace getting caught off guard. And 5-Ace, they have a lot of rounds to figure out how Onic plays on this defense. And now, trying to shape up towards that Showers area. Will they get caught off by this aggression yet again?
Onic has been a team that really enforces shower or baths control just because they want to get maybe teams who always are so comfortable getting the orb here in transition. It could be something, and as you mentioned, it should be something to try out. Shiro is baiting his life for Monyet, who is just at the other corner here.
Yeah.
But they still haven't really done much. The nade to come out there as well. Shiro's about to get a hit, but Amenhola is gonna just try to deal with the first lurker. Didn't know there was a second. And is that a signal for F8? Just straight up go for the A side through this Viper utility? Okay.
It looks like it because they're just barreling their way in. And Monyet is able to hold the line for now. He's going to be snake bitten off, but will actually be allowed to survive for a second longer up until KNF is able to get that kill right there onto YH10. Now Nick Pan will follow it up onto Shiro. Nick Pan has been amazing, but with 21 HP. 10 onto HNF, excuse me. Can they actually do this here? Nick Pan, beautiful work circumventing that cloud burst right there. Now he's in a 1v1 in close range. This might actually work in his... Nope, not in his favor as Risky MD just gets the timing off, and that's going to allow Onic another round. Still a long way to go to even consider the idea of a comeback, but this is a good sign for Onic.
3 bullets in the chamber there for Nick Pan as well, so he had to try to make something happen. The problem was, as he mentioned, there was really no fear for Risky MD to just go straight close into Nick Pan, just because he knows that it's a one-hit headshot, one-hit body shot either way. Like, if he can get a body shot onto Nick Pan, he wins. If he gets headshot by Nick Pan wins. So it really was either one or the other. But Onic, hold on. This is going to be FA's save round, and this is where Onic starts to build that economy, starts to build the overall rounds for themselves.
Which is what you need on the defensive side here. They actually even go for an operator and actually go try to put... Where's Shiro at? He's gone all the way in bathrooms. Actually, that's a lot of map control that they have, knowing that A side is pretty much clear. This just means that everybody's gearing around towards that B side. KNF is looking for it. He spots out Nick Pan, and Nick Pan's all alone. There's no one to back him up here. On the other side, however, YH10 is going to get that pick off to the other side, and somehow he's found 2. All right, punishing the push here, and Severin gets a spike drop as he gets a double kill. KNF is right there with another, and that's going to leave it all up into the hands of YH10, who's mad. Okay. Through the wall. Third kill.
He probably saw the recon dart there, but
yeah, he saw it. He knew the lineup, but that was still sexy. That was dirty.
It was
in a good way.
30 seconds left.
I mean,
you'd know all about that, wouldn't you, Asarai?
Yeah, I'm a dirty boy.
Please never say that ever again in your whole life. Please.
Hey, you started it, man. Anyways. We'll see who finishes it. If it's going to be Chen, who's seemed to be on fire in this round. HNF finally catches him as he was going a bit sneaky peeking the back of the site, you know, being a sneaky Sally or a sneaky Sam, but finally able to flush him out Freddy. And that is going to be another round for Onic. A bit costly, but they were able to build a bit of economy now. But FA, this is the true test for Onic as they got themselves a buy round. And it seems Onic, their decision to go about this is straight up just equip Shiro with an operator.
The operator didn't really work for them that much in the previous round, but what it did is it allowed them the confidence to actually go and take bathroom controls all on their own, which netted them pretty much a lot of great map control towards that short, because there was a double push coming on top of that push towards shower. So it's a good sign of confidence, but they did make it a little bit risky. The false sense of security allowed YH10 to get a double pick off, but Shiro getting one, and Monyet, that's the second time a showstopper has just been swatted out of the air towards mid there.
It was a gravity well to start everything off too.
Yeah.
He was trying to just satchel over it, but you got to respect there is some verticality to the suction of that gravity well. Oh, Shiro's just about to hit almost on the straight face of Esmin, but he doesn't connect that. Has to back off for now, but he's gonna be holding Adamant outside of showers. Got to be careful because this is still a pretty expensive weapon. You want to save this for as much as possible, and Esmin left to clutch on his own. The lone wolf, well, a bit of a growl there, cannot turn into a howling clutch, and well, Onic, they go in for the convenience store, 7-Eleven.
That is flawless from them. And this is the point where 5Ace need to start worrying a little bit. I think a tactical pause actually might be in order here because this is starting to get a little out of hand, and we're starting to consider the idea of a comeback now being very much possible. It is always possible here with Onic on the table. They are very much known to be able to do this and capable of. On an eco round, however, 5Ace, they can do some damage. They have one Phantom and YH Shen. I imagine that's there just to be able to cripple and get some kills here. Nice push towards mid. SeverIne makes short work of the two players here. Completely blindsiding and dismantling 5Ace as he picks them out one by one. Looking for the ace, has to get it, and it's gonna be the ace right there for SeverIne on the anti-eco. Well played. Again, I think the first round in this series, I mean the first ace in the series, and one of the I think the only ace that we've seen the second ace that we've seen today.
Yeah, I think there was one during day one that we saw in Ascent. Can't remember which team that was, but yeah. Anyways, also something to point out as well. When Onic went up against Full Sense from yesterday's matches, as we are just witnessing his SeverIne's Warpath push on mid here, there was a point where Onic only had 2 rounds, and they were like a 2 versus 2 to 5 against Full Sense. So Onic do have that ability to have to have a mental to play from behind, even when rounds are a bit far from being even. And it kind of shows here that they're able to, again, kind of grind their way slowly but surely to equalize up against FA. And it seems like it is working for them. Bit of a timeout, wondering if it was the tac pause or the tech pause. Seems it's going to be the latter, but yeah, at least this does give some time for Onic to get themselves a little bit more locked and loaded at how to bring the rounds back. 3 more, and they've, again, just matched up with FA once again.
Look at this, though, from Onic. They have 4, almost 5 ultimates, actually, if Shiro can get a pick and an orb. That's a lot to deal with if you're FA. And you have a Viper Spit, which is actually really great for them because it can completely nullify. I think what FA need to do here is to start playing very, very slowly. I mean very slowly. They have 2 controllers. They need to start utilizing, get that map control, try to scout out, try to figure out where Shiro is playing. Either try to pick him off with the double peek, force him off those angles. Because the way that their composition works, it's all about taking map control and making themselves and utilizing it to the fullest of extent. However, they haven't really been playing to that form as of late. They have been getting caught off and getting picked off individually, whether by the op of Shiro or whether by the place of SeverIne.
I don't think Shiro has actually hit an op shot just yet, but
he has.
Really?
Yeah, it was off camera, but it was the first pick of the previous round.
Well,
oh no, the 2 rounds before that, yeah.
But either way, I don't think it has been the biggest thing, but it has added to putting the pressure on FA. Because I think the mentality for you now is you're trying to play away from the operator. Now they know Shen is going to be flushing out the corner, but he's not really expecting the double push out from Mon yet. Esmond lines it up as the snake bite actually keeps him a little bit unawares. This overextension for Onic has actually put Mwanya, one of their top fraggers, down for the count, and Onyx is gonna, rather Shiro's just gonna have to deal with this, waiting for his opponent first to come out, and he only has the operator. This is so difficult for a sniper to try to fend off, especially somebody who don't have the mobility in Shiro. Okay, he's holding onto the knife's edge. Never mind, here's the knife himself. It's all the blade and daggers, and Onyx still strive true, and that is gonna be the 9-11. That could have been a devastating round, but Shiro, a rock, he's able to just hold on for dear life and actually resuscitate the round for Onic.
That should have been a round for 5Ace. The moment that Onic ran the exact same play towards A and got punished for it, that was a 5Ace round. But somehow with the heroics of Shiro, like you mentioned, they barely even had to use any ultimates. Only the Seekers really getting used up here. Really puts a, I'd say, halt on the progress that 5Ace have been trying to make. They do have a couple of ultis to work with here, and that could prove interesting in the next round. I imagine they'll try to save them for the next one, but it's starting to be very concerning. I really think a tactical pause has been in order a few rounds ago because they're getting mowed down. Just like this, Shiro and Severin, wherever they go, they win the duels. They're taking map control. Sure, they lose one, but someone's right behind them for the trade.
It's a dynamic duo of Jet and the Sky here. You can always just dip in and dip out of the fights and the flawless round. And Onic, they're knocking on FA's door. It's just one more round again till we go to hit that 11-11. And look at the kill score here, Elu. 20, 12, 14. It was looking single digits when we started the first half. And now we've gone topsy-turvy. And FA, they're losing luster. Actually, they've lost luster. They need to bring this back. Look at the stats at the bottom. Not a single round after those 2 rounds in the second.
How many rounds is that? 3? I think it was 8 rounds that they've won in a row. So 8 or 7, and that's just really a tough thing to come back from, mentally speaking, and literally everything speaking. But how are you going to handle this if you're 5 ace? They are getting caught off by aggression. They're getting caught off, and look at how far back they're forced to play. I said I like the idea to sort of wait and try to punish, and they have been getting the punishes. But I think their mid-round reactions have been a little bit readable, because once Onic were punished, Onic were ready for the re-aggression there and the repositioning as quick as that. So I really think FA, once they get a punish, they maybe need to push onto a different side. The last time they got a double punish onto A, they just went straight for it, and that actually went against them in that round. So with this, I do think a change of pace is in order. Shiro is looking for that pick there towards Shower. He fires off a shot, but he doesn't actually land.
Oh, this would actually be really good because now they made so much noise on A that there's still nobody on the B side. And oh, that is so smart. They are able to basically leave HNF to fend for himself. Severus is going to be holding it off, but those Seekers have done their job and then some. Monyet comes in from the teleporter and basically stops FA from having any form of control other than the site itself. Shiro is going to have a pinata of a time as everybody's still trapped here. Severin waiting for the rest of its teammates, and this should be a cleanup unless Spring comes back to life. And my, oh my, FA, they did the job. I love it. They cut noise, making sure that A site was where the forces, the attention of Onic was, and Onic never really got any more map control outside of Hookah, and you saw that they sent 3 members to mid, whether it's somebody lurking, they could get a kill, and they waited for that close quarter combat to make sure that Seekers can get first contact as quickly as possible. It was a little bit risky, but it paid off in the end, 10-12.
The idea there for Onic was to, once HNF actually heard the footsteps, the teleport place would come in. But there were no footsteps. A good pickup, however. At the start of the round, Sheer is able to line up a double. And dry peeking the upper like that. I think this round is pretty much done here. Having said that, we've seen a couple of surprises, and Shiro, knowing that he has full reign over bathrooms right now, can go for more aggression if he wants to, and in fact, he will. Trying to get even closer and closer. Amenhola, nice shot from him. Might not expect HNF, who's just round about that corner here. Could be a quick flank. No anti-flank for this team, so definitely going to be a problem. Shot coming through. That's going to stop the Trailblazer in its path, though, but it's not going to stop him from re-peeking.
ENF is waiting so hard outside of market here. He's been patient. He's been pushing a lot more. And, oh, we might hit deja vu here. Thankfully, there are no Seekers. Yeah. But it seems like FA have decided rather to go for B left. Since they're lacking in terms of the number. They need to kind of compress where they're going to rush out. And since A is the way to go, it's going to be about it. But this is going to be difficult because first and foremost, there's still a gravity well. There's still a paint shell. And even through that orbital strike, this is going to be risky to say at the least. Esmond will be able to open up the site with just a flash. But that doesn't leave much for Amenhola to try to deal with. He's going to just try to wrap around, look to try to save this weapon, but he's pincered, rocking a hard place, corner pinch. Hey, he wants to push, and now it's just 5 seconds. Amenhola, yeah, the timing couldn't have been better, but still, the risk of the round for FA is still there. They're match point, but Onic, they're so close to pushing it into overtime.
Onic know that this is the game that they need to get a 2-0 in. There won't be many chances, especially in the group of death. Amenhola has been doing quite well, but it seems like he has been slowing down. He's been getting the pickoffs earlier on, and especially on the other side, but now it's been the Shiro show, who's been getting pick after pick after pick, going aggressive towards bathroom. Now the response of 5 Ace is to go ahead and try to punish that off. Now they get information, they know that people are playing close, and instead, it's going to be Onic to go full aggression towards that B site. They've actually gotten all the way back here. Viper's Pit, a little bit of a Hail Mary play, but it's going to be enough to help them get onto that site for now. They have a flank working on the side of Onic, however, as they do begin that pincer move. This hesitation could prove to be lethal from them, as the spray from Monyet is able to get blind too. And that's going to net them a double kill at the very start of it without even having seen anyone. The Viper Spit is still up, however, so this could prove a little bit difficult to work with, and I take that back. Because right now, they're currently melted away. Monyet with the 4K to bring us to overtime in a flawless victory here for Onic, making the impossible somehow possible.
That was a deceptive play there from FA. You'd think if you use the Viper Spit, you're going to be safe to just come into the site, but because they started throwing out their utilities, their abilities, it was a ghosting though for Monyet to just spray hard on the entrance to Baths. And again, FA, because they don't have a Sage, and by this I mean just because they don't have a wall to block out pop shots from that smoke, it was such an easy shooting gallery for, again, Monyet. I mean, a deceptive play, my dude.
The thing with that play, Astra, is there's only really one way that you can come out from. And sure, the Viper Spit obscures their vision, but all Monyet had to do was just blind fire through it. Because showers, it's not the biggest of exits, Astra.
Yeah.
If 4 of you, crowd that area, someone's bound to get hit, and that's exactly what happened.
And they made so much noise.
They did.
If they tried to like slow push it, and Onic could actually second guess themselves and maybe not have tried to challenge. Yeah, exactly. Right? Because there is some time with the Viper Spit, the Viper doesn't have to be inside of it. I think like 15 seconds before it dissipates. And that's a lot of time for FA to wrap around. And you said it already. There was some flankers as well. Maybe FA could have just doubled back, but they doubled down on the ultimate itself and paid the ultimate price just because there's just nothing that stops from, again, Monyet with pop shooting. Anyways, FA here, they're going to be in a bit of a tussle. Okay, Esmond, he's been playing topsy-turvy, back and forth in the smoke. They spotted Risky MD lurking on elbow, but that's going to be a futile attempt. And FA, what a quick succession in that defense. And now they're match point once again.
FA with advantage overtime. 1 round away from making this very, very, very difficult game number 1. Tedious to say the least for both of these teams, as the difficulty of it. Exciting for us, I'm sure, but both of these teams, definitely they don't want to be here in overtime. They wanted a little bit of a cleaner victory, but regardless, Onic, they have clawed their way, found themselves here in this overtime. Now, what can they do? Both of these teams have found so much success on their defensive side. How can they recreate it? Nice shot from Shiro. No possibility for the trade, despite the fact that they go for the double peek. He's still unpunished. SeverIne getting tagged up. 6 HP onto him. No way to heal him up. Flash is not good enough. Neither will be the tag. SeverIne, with 6 HP, comes out on top of Spring, expecting no one around that corner. And this is already the big flank coming up here from Monyet. They're just reading each other. It's a game of cat and mouse. There's the 3 remaining players here from FA. Scramble for an ounce of map control because none of it is going their way. Look at this. Monyet could just have the right angle. Oh, nobody's going to check him.
You know, with our perspective, this seems like everything is vacuum for me. But the timing on these players is so minute that It looks incredibly sus, but it's just the experience, and right from the looks of it, hella hard on the communication side. Now we've left Esmond and Shen to go, but as you said, Monyet was already on the big lurk, and since they don't really have any noise complaint on the B side, it's gonna be A once again, and the Exterminator has done its work. Monyet once again, the monkey see, monkey do. Second overtime, and look, a banana.
We're not being offensive to Monyet. That's actually what his name means. If you guys don't know Monyet, it means monkey in Bahasa.
Yes, it is legit. And we know this. We Googled it.
Yeah, this is why they're so strong on the defensive side, because there's a little banana snack there towards that spawn, isn't there?
Banana and milk. That's a good mix.
Yeah, it's healthy, isn't it?
Yeah. Calcium and then potassium.
It's the
Cesiums.
It's really going to be all about who can break the defensive side first, because the defensive side here has just been unstoppable for both of these teams. And the answer for that, to get close to... disgusting shot right there from Monyet. Getting the timing right onto Esmond. They still have to deal with Spring, who has buried himself toward the back of the site. He's got reinforcements coming. They have not secured elbow, so they're going to be vulnerable from it to some extent here. The spike is yet to be committed as well, because they're still waiting around for the potential of a flank. Severance hanging around in the back, hoping to catch somebody up, but there's nobody there. Everybody's here towards that back of the site, which is very, very much at risk at the moment. But up until Spring is able to get one here, they still have to deal with him. In a 1v3, it's not going to happen. And finally, they've broken the deadlock. Onic has found the decisive blow here up against the defenders. Can they recreate it again?
Match point.
That was so smart. Like, they had so much time. If somebody, from chat, why are they planting? They still had so much utility, and they were waiting for Severin to go and help them out. First and foremost, a flash as defenders will be coming into the site itself is going to be hella crucial. And they still had Shiro, who had both of his recon abilities up. Both the recon dart and the Sova drone gave ample time and ample information to Onic as to what they need to be doing. And honestly, Monyet, he basically did a monkey style on elbow. They're jumping hard and chasing wild onto FA's, I believe that was Esmond, that was stuck in elbow. And finally, Esmond, who was pretty good in that defense in the first overtime round, not going to be good to connect in the second one. And Onic, they flipped the switch, they flipped the script, and it's going to be them and match point.
5As have... It's been the story of their tournament, hasn't it? Just to come so close and yet to fall short at the very last. It's heartbreaking, to say the least, if they lose here. They'll definitely want this victory to boost their spirits, because even with their games against Paper Rex, they did amazing, but never enough to actually secure a victory here, just taking a loss up until the very last point. They're having trouble closing out games, even with a massive advantage.
FA, here it is. Everything but the kitchen sink being thrown onto the A site. Nick Pan waited for the gravity well, but, well, that's not going to be too well for him. Severin into the corner of the smoke. This could be big if that Viper drops. Severin still pushes in through this.
Spike down.
Oh no, the damage be done. Chad and Amenhola left with their own devices. A miss on the flick, and this could be possible. KNF on the big flank now. Severin in the back of the side. 2 versus 1. 2 again. And Amenhola left by his lonesome, and oh no. Yeah, his pincered, 1 back, 1 forth, and here we go, moving forward. Onic take the first game